Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some more Divide Et Impera for Total War Rome 2. This is the third and fourth place match from the Colosseum tournament and probably the last game I'll be covering from the tournament. It's been a ton of fun and the tournament itself has been an absolute blast, seeing some really high competitive play using Divide Et Impera, so what's not to love. If you guys have enjoyed me covering this tournament and want me to cover more of these battles from the Colosseum Discord, then do go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below. So in today's battle we do have the forces of, I think this is the Nabataea, I'm not 100% sure, I know it is one of the kind of southern factions. I believe it's the Nabataea who are going to be going up against the Arverni in the third and fourth place match. Both sides bring a wealth of their strengths and also a few of their weaknesses in this battle. We'll have to see if either side can exploit it. We'll start off by taking a look at the Arverni forces. On their front line we do have some of these medium phalanx infantry, some super kind of long spear wielding warriors, abilities to basically just hold that front line pretty effectively against most of their foes. As we go further back we do have some of the late Oathsworn, so much heavier infantry, 17 melee attack, 13 melee defense. Some scary boys if you get these dudes stuck into combat. As we continue to go back we do have the Gallic general back here, a heavy commander, really the Gallic late royal horses, super scary, supported by some light spears, and again these spears are going to be used to basically just kind of go around with the cavalry, support them, reinforce them as best they can. We also do have some more heavy cavalry back here, some royal horses, and I think this is the latest Divide Et Impera patch, which I hope hasn't caused any desyncs in this battle, as it might have just automatically updated on Steam. But you can see they've now got kind of this command icon. I imagine these guys maybe have a special ability or something. That's kind of cool though, with the newest update. So yeah, again, a ton of naked spears on the flanks to basically just reinforce, with late Oathsworn to support kind of the actual main infantry fighting, and some more cavalry over here. We do have some Gallic mighty horse on that left flank. Over on the Nabataea side, we do have 2 units of very light missiles. These are just some slingers to put down some evasive fire on the enemy. And I always personally love to bring a couple units of missiles, if not more. I mean, I'm a big fan of missiles in this game, but I feel like I must be doing it wrong. Maybe I'll have to play in the next tournament and show them the strength of missiles and probably get my ass beat. Then, if we take a look at the rest of the Nabataea forces, we do have some medium melee infantry. Again, this is great infantry to take on the phalanxes in the center. Generally, a lot of the barbarian factions do go with heavy spears in the center, so kind of just taking a medium infantry, which isn't super expensive, to kind of go up against them, which will win the day, is a pretty smart idea. We also have some lighter spears on the flanks, again, just some medium spears holding that down. The heavier infantry, obviously, we have some heavy spear infantry back here, the bodyguard infantry, so able to really get stuck in. 23 melee defense is super scary. The main force though for the Nabataeans are going to be from their heavy missile cavalry in these camel riders, who I imagine are pretty scary in melee as well. Are they horse archer cavalry or cavalry? Yeah, they are bow cavalry. Can't really see their bows on them though. Don't even know where they're keeping that bow and arrow, but maybe they're javelin throwers. Either way, they have a lot of this cavalry. It's going to be scattered throughout. We also have, so 3 more units over on that flank with more spearmen. So kind of a very, I guess, defensive army from the Nabataeans. They have a lot of this kind of camel cavalry, which will do very well against the Gallic cavalry. Obviously, the camels scare the horses from the west, so they do a very, very effective job. I'm just a little bit nervous that the infantry is not going to be able to hold up. They also do have a unit of scorpions as well, and you guys have seen how effective this unit has been throughout the tournament, able just to really rack up kill after kill after kill in this. We saw the final and both players are maxing out on their artillery pick. They had 2 each, and it's just such a deadly unit. A unit I think that maybe should be banned in the next tournament because it's just a bit boring. But again, I guess it is all part and parcel, expecting someone to bring it, and you can just see the devastation it goes through. This unit of phalanx is already down to 134 men. It just really does tear them apart. And the missiles coming in as well, able just to kind of rack up, not a ton of kills, but it slows up infantry, it disrupts the formation, which is so important in a battle like this. And you have a lot of movement as well, as a lot of the medium spears kind of set up in the center, and all the swords go to the flanks. So these swords will do a really good job against the light spears, so that's probably why they're throwing them over, but they'll obviously get absolutely slaughtered by the Oathsworn. The Oathsworn have 17 melee attack. These guys, unfortunately, only have 11, so they're not really made to deal with them. However, they do have some javelins, and the javelins will rack up a kill or 2 on the Oathsworn. It's not a bad idea to try and focus them down as the camel archers move over to the far left flank. I call them camel archers. They're not really camel archers. They are very effective units. And yeah, right now the slingers along with the scorpions are just doing work. And obviously, again, all the scorpions going to be focusing down on that cavalry because it's just such an effective tool at taking out horses. It really is. And obviously, as you start to lose horses, your cavalry becomes so much less effective compared to, say, infantry that can still hold their own if they lose like half their men. And yeah, and artillery shots are going to be coming in and just, yeah, racking up. It's just stupid. I really, really do hate the scorpions in a competitive play. I think it's just kind of boring. But you can see that the Gauls are going to be going ahead and committing all their cavalry. Basically all their cavalry or all their cavalry? Yeah, all their cavalry over onto this one flank. And it's not a bad idea to do so. You really kind of thrust your horses down onto one side. You got Oathsworn in here. And with the cavalry as well, it's going to be super effective. And you can actually see that the Nabataeans are going to be backing up their infantry line a bit, because I was just about to mention it would have been a really, really big shock if, for example, these Oathsworn could have engaged the enemy like right here. That would not have been good, because then this cavalry could have found a really easy way to wrap around and attack, and then just start kind of splitting off, because they have so many more horses over on that left hand side. Lots of javelins going out and absolutely decimating the phalanxes that's advancing onto them. This unit is down to 100 men now. Yeah, these javelins from the medium spears are seriously doing some work right there. Yeah, these guys are getting their money's worth, that is for sure. And a lot of these phalanxes, which are advancing forward, are looking a little bit worse for wear. I'm not going to lie, they are covered in blood as they go further and further. Luckily, the phalanx will provide them with a bit more missile resistance, but even still, as the cavalry does start to move around, and I assume more of a horse was being, or I guess camel was thrown over onto his left flank, but they are still severely outmatched. But I mean, just look at how many kills that Scorpion has racked up onto them horses. It's kind of disgusting, it really is. And that's why, again, I think missiles are great, because a unit of slingers could take care of this unit pretty effectively before it really racked up as many kills as maybe they necessarily wanted. So if you take a look right now, you can see that you do have the camels around the flank. There's a pretty nice kind of outflank right here as more and more of the units do spread out. But here we go, the first infantry engagement as the phalanx does close off. And one of the interesting things, by taking these phalanxes, you are putting yourself at a bit of a micro disadvantage, because you do have to micro phalanxes in Divide Et Impera. You have to go ahead and click once to attack the enemy, double click it's once to attack and go up to the enemy, and as soon as you hit them, you attack them, and you have to double click to actually advance into the enemy with your phalanx. And that doesn't sound like a lot of micro, but a lot of the time you have to consistently do that. You have to do that over multiple times. Like, the enemy might kind of go in something like this, where maybe these guys over on this side aren't attacking, so you want to go ahead and double click so you get a little bit closer. Maybe you kill the front line, because right now, if these guys kill the front line, they're going to stop attacking. So you want to make sure you have to constantly keep microing them. That can cause some pretty big issues throughout this battle. And all this time as well, this Scorpion is still just racking up hundreds of kills. It's on to 135. And you got to remember as well that a lot of these kills are going to be on high value targets which don't have a lot of men in the unit. These horse archery, or these cavalry units of Gaul are 75 men. That's basically 2 units they've killed so far. Obviously they killed some infantry, but you know what I mean. Phalanxes are well and truly stuck in now. As you can see, they are doing their job. Obviously, keeping the Nabataeans at range is going to give them a great advantage. And obviously, if nothing else happens, these phalanxes will eventually win this battle. So it's kind of a great kind of, I guess, gauntlet to throw at your opponent to be like, basically, what are you going to do? My phalanxes are going to beat you if you don't stop this. There are definitely gaps here to come around if they want to. Obviously, they're kind of scared that these guys are going to come in and probably hit them afterwards. And there's a huge kind of outflanks going on right now. The Nabataeans are moving around, and the slingers are kind of getting chocked in and hit into the back of these late Gallic nobles. Which, again, is just such a valuable thing. Like, that's why I think missiles are so great. Like, these are the super cheap slingers, and I feel like they're still just kind of doing their job. I guess they probably maybe had a lot of money in these tournaments, so maybe they didn't want to waste it. But I feel like a couple of units of Rhodian slingers, into the back of a unit like that, they would tear it apart and pay for themselves very, very quickly. Again, I'm going to have to play in one of these tournaments if they'll have me at some point, and yeah, try my best to prove that missiles are strong. And you can see we're fighting gloriously taking place now on this flank as the Gauls throw themselves forward. And I definitely feel bad for the Nabataeans here having to go up against the late Gallic infantry. The Oathsworn are super scary. However, these guys do look great. They are medium melee infantry. Oh, they are Furious swords, so they're gonna do okay. I didn't realize they were Furious spears, swords even. They're gonna do okay. And we have been fighting down the entire battle line. More of the swords going in. Obviously, looking to engage these light spears is going to be great. However, the javelin volleys have been super scary, and there's a lot of space here as well. If they're not careful, like that's a lot of infantry. It can just come around and yeah, go into these guys. We're just gonna get some cavalry charges here. This honestly would not be a bad idea, just to go all in and just kind of surround these guys. Doesn't seem like the general's gonna go smashing into the light spears here. Very, very risky indeed. But yeah, as I said, it wouldn't be a bad idea just to throw in all your camels here, because these guys won't have great morale. Only 56 morale. That's not too great. So charging into them, yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do. I think they can easily clear up this flank very effectively. You can see another cavalry charge here. These guys do turn to chase them, but that's not going to be effective. And you can see the camels tearing through them. And you see the morale dropping down. I really like this play by the Nabataeans. Seeing that the cavalry from Gauls gone to the other flank, you can really just abuse these lighter units that necessarily do not have the morale to withstand this. And the camels have torn them apart. Very, very effective stuff. And the cavalry right now is going in. And this is why you kind of have to leave a couple units of cavalry around here to help deal with this. However, can the Gauls do a good job over on this other flank? And it doesn't seem like they're able to do so. A lot of cavalry is being pinned down by infantry, and the red line is quite close as well. And yeah, it doesn't seem like the cavalry can really get around. The infantry is a little bit well protected. There's some camels here and lots of infantry with javelins just kind of scaring off the opponent. So right now, the Gauls are in a really, really tricky situation. Just simply because the camels are racking up some kills with their missile fire. Yeah, 7-6 kills on them, not too bad. And the cavalry just can't get in because there's just far too much infantry there. Whereas on the other side, right now, the Gauls are getting absolutely surrounded, and their lighter infantry just doesn't stand a chance. Luckily, they managed to get three more units over here, and that's going to do a nice amount of damage as these guys love javelins in. But obviously, the cavalry is just going to turn around and probably go after a few more units. And the javelins don't even rack up that many kills on them either. This unit has not even lost a single camel yet. Camels are being tanky. How is the front line going? Oh, we've got some more cavalry charges here. Yeah, another camel charge. And it's one of the deadly things about the camels is they can obviously fire on the move, and then that charge is absolutely brutal as they come in once again right into the back of the Oathsworn. And you can see how much more effectively the Oathsworn took that charge. They really just withstood it. And, you know, obviously they're going to take casualties, but they managed to turn to the enemy. And then, you know, it was a little bit more effective. However, obviously it's still going to hurt. It's not something that the Oathsworn really want to have. And they're even getting close to breaking. Wow, that is not good. Yeah, and this is going to be pretty catastrophic, honestly, for the Gauls. Obviously, more spears now finally turning up. That's going to be able to take out a few of these camels. But, yeah, shifting all your horses over onto this side and not being able to even win is really bad. The Nabataeans have done a great job of just kind of screening this right field. And honestly, Gauls should have just left more of their cavalry around here. They are... So yeah, still no cavalry over on this left-hand side. Obviously, this Scorpion really kind of neutered the enemy cavalry, almost up to 200 kills. I think about 150 of them are all on horses. So that's literally about 2 units of horses that this Scorpion has killed. But yeah, they've really been able to neuter the enemy cavalry. But even still, they needed to leave more horses here. I like the idea of stacking one side of your horses, but they just couldn't get through. And you really are relying, like, I feel like as the Gauls, you're really relying on your infantry to win, which they're going to do. You know, their infantry are getting slaughtered right now. These guys are on 45 kills. The heavy spears are on 14. Like, your swords are going to win on the kind of this section of the battle. If we take a look at the overall field of it, you can see, like, this side here and this side, your infantry is going to win. The center is going to be a stalemate for a long time. So all they had to do, really, I think, is just have a big section of their force just kind of wait here. Like, their cavalry just wait here. And it's really up to the Nabataeans to make the move. They're the ones who have to push forward and utilize their cavalry. Because if they don't, the infantry will win. The Oathsworn will come crushing through. And even in the center, I'm pretty sure they're winning. Yeah, the phalanxes are winning kind of decisive. Not decisively, but they are doing a decent job here. They're not breaking, at least, I guess, is the main thing. So yeah, I think the Gauls really did mess up in this battle by splitting their cavalry. I think they could have played very defensively. Obviously, the missile fire was going to be bad, but your infantry was always going to cut through. Like, even with the cavalry charges, these Oathsworn are still pretty much winning these fights, which is super scary. They have finally managed to bring some more cavalry over now, and the cavalry is engaging against the camel riders. You guys can see some of the awesome action right there. And the camel riders are already cheering on. Victory must be near at hand. I think maybe the Gaul general has now broken. Yeah, the Gallic general is now going for the Arverni, which is not great. Some more infantry does turn up here for the heavy fighting, but yeah, this is looking really, really bad. Bounce power is still pretty even somehow. Not sure quite how, because I think the Nabateans have this battle. But I guess they are taking heavy casualties elsewhere, but this flank is completely crumbled. More of the cavalry is just being pinned down by infantry, which is not good. And now you have more of these camel riders coming around. Again, just the consistency of these charges is what's really going to come back to hurt the enemy. And you can just see like how much more effectively the Oathsworn do have it. And yeah, I really, really, really do think that all they had to do was just hold this line. And now with these camels coming in, there is, yeah, very little hope, I think. The Oathsworn will fight on hard, though. And you can see these skilled warriors just take out the spearmen like they're nothing. We do again have some screening units back here. We do have the very light spear infantry moving around and trying their best to pin down any cavalry. There's just far too much. Luckily though, with the support of the spear infantry, they have been able to take out a few of these camel riders, and there's very few depleted camel units. And again, the Oathsworn have managed to win on this flank. Even still, maybe I'm okay. I'm gonna eat my words given to me. Even with these rear charges, they're still really struggling. The Oathsworn are just that strong, and they're pushing the Nabateans back, okay. And it does seem like as well, on the far right flank, they've got 2 units of cavalry still looking pretty good. There's a routed unit back there that I think maybe has desynced. Hopefully the battle isn't too messed up. But I just can't see them winning with all these camels coming in, rear charging. It just really, I guess, comes down to whether or not these guys can withstand these charges, and I just don't think they can. But the Oathsworn are doing what they're doing, you know, even under that much pressure, the Oathsworn still managed to win these flanks. You know, we saw how many charges came in. The Nabateans are moving in, and yeah, I think it's when these guys start to get crushed down, when the phalanxes break, that's going to probably be the nail in the coffin. But until then, the Oathsworn are going to keep on fighting and keep on routing enemy units. They're going to go out again and come back in with another charge, where you get on board with this charge as the camel riders move in. It does look pretty beautiful as well. Rome 2 for an old game does still look great. A lot of the focus as well is now being solely put onto the Oathsworn, because they are the scary units, and the center is yeah, starting to break now. More units are opening up, which will allow them to move in. Got some light spears here, but we're going to go ahead and get countercharged here by the Furious swords. As the swords go in again. And more camel riders again. It would not be a bad idea just to throw a camel rider in there. But again, that Oathsworn of yeah, doing work. Only 97 kills, but I feel like they've done a lot of damage. Some more of the cavalry from the Gauls are engaging against the camels and doing a pretty good job. However, I think their morale is just the thing that is hurting them. Because I believe, okay, actually the unit of camels move, so this battle has not desynced at all, I don't think, which is great news. I was a little bit worried at the beginning. Yeah, losing the Gallic general is going to really hurt, especially on these lighter units. You can already see their morale is already dwindling quite heavily. They're going to be throwing in everything they can, but yeah, a lot of this, yeah, this flank is just completely crumbling. And with the hammer and anvils from the camels, they're going to be able to just surround these units like they're doing. And regardless of whether they're light spears, Oathsworn, they're not going to have enough to really repel the enemy. Oh, one getting absolutely cut down. Brutal. That guy doesn't even have an arm. Brutal. Still putting up a good fight. And these light spears have done a great job. Like, 84 kills on a unit of naked spears is not bad. Like, I feel like the Gallic spears have done a very, very admirable job this battle. However, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough with the cavalry still being as potent as it is. But, you know, the Gauls have managed to kind of win the right flank. The Arverni moving in with everything they've got. You can also take a little look at this unit right here. This one unit of Oathsworn who are just completely surrounded. I'm surprised they haven't broken yet, honestly. Completely surrounded. Cavalry, you got the Nabataea general in there. Spears in the front. Spears in the back. There is no escape. I guess at this point there is nowhere for them to run. And you can see them fighting off in the distance as well. As more of the camel riders move in, the Nabataean general pulls out. because they managed to break the enemy. Yeah, they broke another unit of spears here as well, as the numbers drop down and the kills rack up for the rest of the infantry. As more of the camels come around, I mean, we have some Oathsworn charging into the back, which is going to be pretty deadly, but at this point, these Oathsworn are probably exhausted. Yeah, they're very tired. Able to get into the back of these guys, hold them under the phalanx. And this is ideally what they wanted to have happen. Like, this was their battle plan, was to win these flanks. But yeah, that cavalry just getting killed was really brutal. And I understand that they were kind of zoned out by this artillery piece. But I think you could have like left your cavalry back here because you know, just keep yourself just out of range. And if you see the camel riders start moving around, then you push in, and it's up to your opponent to try and micro that to get you. I think that's probably your best way of going in. We've got another cavalry charge here as well, about to come in. It does seem like it's going to be on the stationary unit of cavalry. So the camel's going to go in there and lick their lips so they can rack up a lot of kills as the shadows go completely weird. More of the Oathsworn coming in here, and they've obviously been the star of the show for the Arverni. Basically the star of the show of any faction, really. And you can just see the flanks are racking up now. You can probably go on double speed just for what remains of this battle. More cavalry moving around. And we're just going to see this cavalry kind of come in here and break what remains. So there you go. The Nabateans, I believe, as I said, it'd be so funny if this faction isn't even Nabatee. The Nabateans able to rack up a win and take the third place in the Colosseum tournament. With, obviously, it was the Dacians and the... who were in the final? It was the Germanian faction and the Dacians. In this, it was the Nabateans and the Gauls. So surprisingly, we didn't have any Carthage in this game, in the kind of final tournaments of the, any of the final rounds of the tournament. We didn't have Rome. It was kind of impressive. Yeah, and no Greek factions either. No Macedon, none of them. Very, very, very interesting indeed. I'm personally going to have to... I'm actually kind of maybe looking forward to maybe playing in the next Colosseum tournament if they'll have me. I definitely look forward to that if there's just a 1v1. I don't really want a team one. Just like a 1v1 tournament I think would be quite fun. So maybe I'll have to take part in it because, yeah, I'd love to kind of maybe take one of the stronger factions and really throw them forward. Not that I've really got that much practice on them, though that's the thing is, these guys are playing DI. I haven't played DI in a little while. So, you know, it's going to be a few things that are going to be very, very different. But yeah, I'll definitely inquire about it, and maybe you guys can see me playing in the tournament itself. So yeah, the last remnants of the Arverni now just being surrounded. We've got a few units of their medium phalanx infantry trying their best, and a unit of light spears as well. Oh my god, this unit of naked spears has 222 kills. That is really impressive. Really impressive indeed. Unfortunately, them 220 kills is not going to save them this day. And they're just going to be another casualty on this battlefield. Unable to really do much. And it was indeed a costly victory indeed. But a victory nonetheless. And as you can see, they lost about half their army, which in Divide Et Impera is quite a lot. You can see the losing side didn't lose that many more than them. So not bad whatsoever. Kill-wise, yeah, the camels doing insane work on that artillery piece as well with 200 kills. Yeah, I really hope that this is banned in the next tournament. This is a very boring play style, and it's just not fun, I don't think. I think it creates a very unfun battle more so than anything else. And it just forces both players to bring as many of these as they can because they're so good. We also, though, on the rest of the side as well, have a lot of kills. And even the spearmen did a pretty good job. Over on the Gaul side, yeah, their cavalry just got absolutely decimated. They really did. The spearmen right here doing a pretty good job, and obviously the Oathsworn doing what Oathsworn do and get stuck in. But unfortunately, that just was not enough. So thank you guys so much for watching this battle. If you enjoy these Divide Et Impera engagements, then let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.